Hey everybody, Ryan McCaffrey with IGN. I'm joined by Lee from the F1 2016 development team. Thanks for coming over.
Hi, no problem. Yeah, great.
So F1 is a very serious racing game. This is a sim. Was that fair to say? This is not an arcade racing game.
Oh, definitely. I mean, under the hood, everything's simulated as accurately as possible. But we also layer on the assists and things so that we make it as accessible as we can to anybody who just loves Formula One, really.
Now, this game, Americans such as myself, ignorant Americans, might not realize, but this is a big series. It's been going on for a while, and you guys do take it very seriously, and you've added a lot of interesting new features this year.
Yeah, so on the back of F1 2015, the community really requested that we bring the career back, so we wanted to bring in a really deep, rich career. So that's the biggest thing we've done for the game this year. The player can now start in any of the teams and choose to sort of work their way through from the bottom to the top. Well, try and retain those positions in the top teams, but also develop the car, maybe look for a contract with a different team. There's always goals that keep you sort of driven throughout the season.
Now you're playing, we've got the ultimate setup here. You of course can't see it, but you've got a very nice racing wheel here, pedal box. That's the ideal way to play the game, right? I mean, I'm sure it's super fun on a gamepad, but a wheel is the ideal way to go, right?
I think if you're going for ultimate immersion, you can't beat a wheel and pedals. But yeah, I mean, obviously we spend a lot of time balancing the game so it works just as well on pad as it does on wheel. I mean, it's very important that everybody has a pad.
Yeah.
Not everybody has a wheel. But
let's jump in.
Yeah, let's start this race then. So, bit of Hockenheim driving the Haas, new American team. So straight off, you've seen we've got the new race starting there. So I'm having to hold the clutch, set my revs, and then there we go, time the start.
Nice, nicely done.
So, as you can see, NASA there didn't get the best start in the world.
Yeah, you are paddle shifting right now.
Yeah, I'm doing all the important bits.
Oh, nicely done. So 60 frames a second, which is very obvious to see here.
Yeah.
Game looks great, runs great. Cool lighting effects, too.
Yeah, so something we brought in this year is a new time of day editor to allow the player to select what time of day they do the racing. So inside of the career, it will obviously run at the correct times for each race location. But outside of career, the player can choose to do this, for example, which is racing at sunrise. Adds such beautiful drama. And
had me nervous there for a second.
I clenched.
You've got damage turned on right now.
Yeah, I'm being super cautious. I'm trying to talk and drive at the same time.
It's not easy for those of you out there who are maybe wanting to leave a comment criticizing. It is not easy to play and talk at the same time, especially in a racing game, simulation racing games. It takes a lot of focus to do this.
I'm concentrating.
But what's your sort of pitch for those of us that aren't maybe I like Forza. Forza's sort of my racing series. What sort of separates F1 from the likes of Forza?
So I mean, the first one it's the official game, of the Formula One 2016 season.
Yeah.
Nobody else can have the content that we have. Nobody can have all of these unique teams and this circuit roster which these cars are allowed to race on. Beyond that, obviously we have an amazing career mode which feeds very much off the world of Formula One. A Formula One race weekend isn't just about the race; it's also about the qualifying and the practice. And in this year's game, we've filled the practice with really interesting programs that the player can take part in. They help them to work on developing the car, and they also give really nice sort of bite-sized chunks of gameplay that are all very inspired by real-world Formula One.
Yeah, you were showing me that before we started recording, and it almost kind of felt like a CarPG type situation.
Well, I think there's definitely an element of that when it comes to the upgrades. 'Cause you need to focus on which areas of the car you feel are not too strong. I mean, there may be certain areas that you feel don't work well for you. You might want some more power. You might want some more aero. All of these areas you need to balance out your spending on, basically.
So far, so good.
Yeah, I need to up my
pace. I have faith
in
you, Lee. 16th.
Okay. Right. We're getting somewhere now.
Here we go.
No, I'm on those curbs.
Jinxed it.
So those curbs, yeah. So the curbs this year as well, they're very brutal. We've been working on some of the off-track areas as well. So the curbs, they're a little more unforgiving. There's certainly sawtoothing effect is very, very pronounced on them.
Yeah, I'm not sure if it's picking up on Mike, but your wheel has force feedback built into it, and it's rumbling against the desk we've attached it to. So if you're hearing a strange sound every now and again coming through on the recording, that's what it is.
Yeah, and so I mean, going back to the no. So yeah, I mean the AI have obviously had a work in this year as well. They're very, very racy. I mean, I've got them on a relatively low level here, so I don't look too bad. But yeah, as you can see, I've got some ground to make up now.
There we go.
Oh, he's still coming at me again. Look, see, here's that Fernando Alonso. As you can see there, you know, the grass surfaces are, you know, very low grip. They're very realistic.
They're almost impossible.
But so going back to the, you know, things that are unique to Formula One, you know, it's not just about the racing in Formula One. It's also about the glamorous world around it and the characters. So we've modelled new paddock environments so that the player can manage their career dealings away from the circuit with a couple of new characters. So there's there's a female agent who'll come and talk to you about contract dealings, and there's a male R&D guy who comes out and speaks to you about upgrading the car and about the things you need to be doing during the practice sessions. And again, it just adds a little bit of a personal touch to the game. You know, it's not just about the racing. And for those sort of people who are big Formula One fans, you'll also see recognisable characters in the environment as well, coming and going. So, you know, there's team bosses and there's, you know, Formula One journalists from the UK who come and go. And again, it just adds that real world touch to it.
Now, again, before we started recording, when you were showing me the qualifying program, sort of the stuff in the pit, you mentioned, look, you can keep an eye out. A little Easter egg in the game is most of the development team are the pit crew, right?
Yeah, that's right. Yeah.
Why not? Take your liberty. You've spent a long time working hard making the game. You put yourselves in there.
I mean, basically, we're all cheap and we've got big egos.
Any of us would do the same thing.
Well, if you're ever over in the UK, we'll get your picture taken and include you in the game.
And then I can never cover the game again. Yeah, the sense of speed in F1 compared to, you know, because in, say, a Forza or a Gran Turismo, you know, you might be running 160, 180 miles, but, you know, here when you get top speed, you're well over 200 miles per hour.
Yeah, I mean, it's obviously the fastest forms of motorsport in the world, but it's not just the high speeds that you reach; it's the high cornering speeds that you reach. You know, these cars have got so much downforce.
Yeah.
And I mean, it's one of the things that we've also refined further this year is the way that the car feels in the wet. So that in wet conditions, the car really does move around very realistically, and the lap times that you'll be achieving will be very realistic. It's obviously been a representation of a real world sport. You know, people do expect to see exactly what they see on TV when they play the game, and that's something we've really worked on this year. So, I mean, you saw we got the exciting race start. You know, you get that moment of your heart pumping on the grid. You know, let go of the clutch, get it off the line at the right time. But, you know, things like the pit boards. I don't know am I going to get one out?
Oh, that was final lap.
So we get the pit boards now this year again, which just add that little bit more to the level of immersion.
And you've got a bunch of different camera views. You've got your preferred camera view here of just behind the driver's head, but there's all the usual racing game views, right? Cockpit, etc.
Yeah,
the car.
There we go. We're going to go for an offset one.
Nice. That looks cool, actually. I like
it does.
That.
It's a really cool camera.
That's almost like a TV, or like a broadcast quality camera there.
It is. It's very much inspired by the offset pod cam that they use in real life. And what you can see from there as well is the helmet design that I've chosen for my character. In fact, no, I've chosen a licensed driver, haven't I, this time? But you can see the quality of the helmet there, which if you are playing a career game, you will have your own unique helmet design that you've picked and coloured, and then you can also take that online with you as well.
Excellent. Always love that customization stuff.
Well, I think it's very important in this year's game due to the fact that you can do a 10-year career, you can actually take a low team all the way to the top, and the time you invest in it, that is your character.
Right.
You want to be building up your career as you.
I have to imagine a 10-year career is going to be dozens, if not hundreds, of hours.
Yeah, it's enormous, especially if you want to go for all the little achievements as well along the way. So if you want to max out all of the practice programs, get the perfects in everything, it really is. It's a huge amount of gaming time.
Fantastic.
We've filled it with so many things to do. Keep you playing, keep you excited.
I was hoping we would see you before
There
we
I am.
left. Yeah, that's right there.
Yeah.
And hiding in the background. Lee, thank you so much. The game is F1 2016. We're playing on PS4 here, for those curious, but on Xbox One and PS4 as well?
Xbox One, PS4, PC.
PC and, right, I already said PS4. That was silly. And what is the release date? When can we go pick it up?
The 19th of August.
Coming right up. Great. For more on all things in the world of racing, you're in the right place right here at IGN.